Hello there and welcome to my YouTube channel, Trudy Scrumptious Crafts. Today I'm going to show you how I made this card using the heat embossed flower petals. And the die consists of 3 elements. You have the petal outline, or the flower head, shall we say, which cuts out a very thin border, and it also cuts out the 3 petals that fit inside, and then that would go on the top. So you could do that in the petals in a contrasting colour. It also cuts out the 3 separate petals and the middle centrepiece, which would lay on the top of your flowers like that. But what we're going to do today is I've cut these out of a mirror card that I've got in my stash, but I'm going to actually heat emboss the petals. I've cut them in white, the 3 separate petals, and I'm going to cut them and going to emboss them with embossing powder and heat them up and make them multicoloured. So let's show you how we do that. Let's just get my scrap piece of paper and the pad out before I started. Right. I find the easiest way to do it, you can swipe your ink pad across the die cut, but I think you end up with a lot of ink on your mat that you don't need, etc. So what I tend to do is that in the shot? Yeah. So let's move it up a bit. Move that down so you can see. Let's just take that off. That's got something sticky on it. It's probably a bit of a tape. There's the rubber. That's it, all gone. Right, so what I usually do is lay my die cuts flat in the ink pad. This is a Wow clear embossing pad. It's supposed to be clear, but it's well used. And I think sometimes when you're doing something like this where you're going to cover your item up with embossing powder, it doesn't really matter if you can see it or not. It helps, in fact, if you can see it, so that you know you've got it all covered. So it looks pretty manky, doesn't it? But I'll do the others. And then we can emboss it. You have to excuse me because I'm just getting over a flu bug. So I'm a bit sniffy and a bit croaky. Hopefully, if I make another video, I'll sound better and I won't be sniffing as much. So apologies. That's the second one. It does look gruesome, basically. It's so dirty, this ink pad. But as I say, it doesn't matter because we are going to cover it all up and just need it to hold on to the embossing powder. So there should be enough on there as well. Yeah, lovely. Right, so now comes the fun part. Where's my little spoon? It's here somewhere. It is. Oh, I'll pull everything else out. Right, I'm using a mixture of Wow embossing powders. I've had these for absolutely years, so I don't even know if they're still available. So I think what I might do is just use 3. So I think I'm going to use this one, which is Blue Glitz embossing glitter. This one is embossing powder, Magenta Twinkle. And let's do the purple one. This is embossing glitter, and this is Persian indigo. As I say, I've had these for absolutely years, so I have no idea if these are still available. So let's take the top off. Probably should have closed my door for this because it's probably going to blow around everywhere, but never mind. We'll see how we get on. Let's just pick my tweezers. And just take a little bit and sprinkle it on each leaf. No. you are going to end up with a mix of embossing powders. But I've got a little pot that I can put it in. Oh, don't blow wind. Just a little bit too much on there now. Just put a bit more purple on. There we don't lose it all. Right, then what we need to do is I'm going to heat up my heat gun. It is one of the slower ones. I'm going to heat from underneath. This heat gun is a bit weird because it doesn't actually heat in the centre, it heats around the edges first, so it's a guesstimate of actually where the heat is coming from. If you heat from underneath, it melts the powder underneath. More gently. Probably fry my phone at the moment. Let's do it that way. Defer it a little bit. As you can see it. Takes a little bit longer because obviously it's got to get through to the embossing powder. Really hard, but it will go eventually. So it's just beginning to change now. You see it melting. Just want to go. Change it round. Don't do it over the pot of embossing now. First one. Oopsie. If you do it from underneath, it's on the top, it throws it all around the room. Probably end up with a sneezing fit next. Never mind. Turning. Hopefully you can see it without me frying my phone. I'm just going to do that last bit on the top. Do the other one. From underneath it doesn't blow around as much. And the hotter your tool is, the quicker it will warm up and melt the embossing powder. See that one going? That took half the time as the others, didn't it? Right. Let's put those down a minute. Right, let's pick up the first one. I think I'm just going to put that in there. I don't break me thing. Just put a bit more on. Try not to melt my phone. Stranger things have happened. You want to do as well, which I haven't got out, is a little bit of clear on top. Sorry, that's going to work whether that cooled down too quick. Oh. Preferably don't put your finger in the clear embossing powder. That's it. I've got a little bit of white on there. I want to cover it up. That's it. That's got it. Clear on the top before it cools down. And the clear embossing pad I'm using is Honeydew Crafts. You can see it turning and cooling. Like it needs a little bit more on that edge. Just dip it in, it's better. The clear embossing gives it a nice gloss over the top. Lovely, that one. And then the final one, let's just warm it up and just put a bit, oops, warm it up again. Just get a bit when the tweezers have been I want to warm it up so that it will take the embossing powder. It's better, but it's not as thick when you don't put it on like that. So what I'm going to do is see it go in there. It's like magic. Heat embossing was one of the first things that drew me into card making and crafts. I went to a craft fair somewhere close to where we lived, and they were demonstrating heat embossing. I walked away with the lily stamp and embossing powder, and as they say, the rest is history. So let's just put the lids on these before I knock them flying. Oh, sorry, keep sniffing. Right, I'm just going to go and get my little pot. She says. Make sure they cool down. Be very careful if you're handling these, because they will be very hot. It only takes a little while for them to cool down, but they will still be pliable and soft. So I should use those another time. An interesting combination of colours. Right, let's wipe my table down as well. Right, so what we've got, I've got a 5x7 card blank. I've got a mark on that, but that won't show. and I've cut a frame, an extra piece of a card for the top, which is 4 3/4 by 6 3/4 inches, or if you want it in centimetres, it is basically 12 centimetres by 17. That's going to go on there. What I've done also, I've cut a slatted die. Now, where's my die set? The dies that I've used actually comes from a set from Temu, but there are loads of companies that are doing slatted dies such as this. I know Craft Addictions do one, and if it's in stock I'll put a link to it down below. But this one is ample for what I need, and it just cuts out the slatted part for me, so that's going to fit in there. For the background, I've used a piece of scrap card just to give it some depth behind it. Sometimes when I make this card, I raise the front up. I don't think I will this time. I'm going to leave it flat, because the idea is that the petals will, rest on the top there, and that will go on the top there, and you can have our greeting there. So I think we're going to try that. Let's see what that looks like. Just got to match the petals up. You can offset these petals, which does make them look quite nice. Let's take that off first. Just move them slightly. Put that on there like that. Yeah, quite like that. I think that's quite good. So what we'll do first of all is I will put this piece of card down. I'm waiting for some Nouveau glue to come back in stock. So much nicer than some of the other glues I've used. So I've had to go back to my Collao tacky glue. But it's alright. I mean, I used it for years, but it's a bit thick and gloopy. So just make sure we've got that in the right place before I press it down. Yeah. Oh, sorry, sniffing. Right, what I'm going to do is put a couple of stamping blocks or anything heavy on the top just to weigh that down for the time being. Let's move that out of the way over there for a second. From another die stamp from Temu, I've taken the happy birthday stamp, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that out in a piece of card, and then I'm going to do the same. I'm going to emboss it, I think. So let me just run this through my cutting machine to cut the sentiment out. Preferably don't let your cutting plates come flying out the back of the machine. They are supposed to sit on the other side as they come out, but mine seem to throw themselves across the craft room. So there you go. Oh dear, sorry. Right. Right, with this, I'm going to cheat a little. I'm going to actually use a little bit of sellotape. It's not something I usually use in my cards, but I have seen other people do this. And if you put it in like that, it just holds it in. and it can't be seen on the other side. Oh, get it all round, I think. Might be a cheapskate. Nobody sees the back of it either, do they? So nobody would be any other wiser. But that fits in nicely there. Right. And now then, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to do the same with my sentiment as I did with the petals, and I'm going to emboss it, but not multi-colours. I'm just going to emboss it once, one colour. Should we use the purple, do you think? What colour should we use? Purple, pink, or the blue? I think maybe the purple. Just see, did that work? Covered it all. Yep, I think so. Right, put the lid back on that. Bring my piece of paper in again. Did I do purple? Did I do purple? Oh, there it is, hiding behind me. Looks like I'm using a lot of embossing powder. I'm not actually, because this will all go back in the pot. Well, that's the plan anyway. Probably end up on the floor the way I'm going today. Oh, let's take that over there. Put this on my craft mat. You see that? Really? Oops. There we go, just bring there. Done. It's pretty much done. Right, I'm going to take that away for a minute. I'm going to put still a bit hot. That's not too bad. We bring my card back and we put a sentiment under there to flatten that out. Check the cards the right way round. It's covered in embossing powder. Just wipe it down a bit. Right, let's put this on as well. I'm just going to use my glue. There, get my cloth and just smooth it down, because if you've got any ink or anything on your hands, and it just seems to smooth it out, and it just wipes up any over things. see that, that's good. Right, so now we can get together to put the things on. Right, which way should we have it? Should we have it that way? Should we have it that way? Actually, I quite like it on that angle. So I think what I'm going to do is just put a little bit of glue in the middle. Oh, that's not a little bit of glue, that's a lot of glue. Oh dear, things are going so well today. Let me just put that up before I lose it. Ugh. Right, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a bit of 3D gel to actually put the petals on with. If I can get this 3D glue gel out of the pot. Oh, no, no. Right, what have we got? Does that one go in there? It does, doesn't it? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a bit of glue just on the tip. Shall I offset it slightly? We want it to sit there, don't we? That's that one, isn't it? Just put that in the middle. Move it slightly. No, let's put it in. I can't do offset, it doesn't look right to me. Just lift them up slightly. This will take a little time to go off, but when it does, it's worth it. And then put a little bit of glue on there. We put that in there, and I'll just use a little dot, just a tiny dot. Just stick it on the card. And then we can put a happy birthday on the edge like that. I think that looks quite nice. Put a little gem in the middle. Got a gem. Put a gem. Put a gem. Let's put a pink one in the middle. Actually, no, I'm going to put a purple one. What needed. You just get used to using one sort of product and it goes out of stock, but I find the Nouveau glue isn't as gloopy as some of the others, especially with this holder. We use the cloth to press that down. I think that's really pretty, even if I do say so myself. I think I'm just going to finish it off by putting a few maybe pink gems around it. Actually, I might put a little turquoise one that just put my glue lid on. Can't find it. Oh, there it is. whenever you put your glue back on your 3D glue, always make sure you press a little bit out first. That stops the air getting into it, and it stops it from hardening in the tube. So let's have a look. What have we got? Purple ones around, I think. Hard way today. Oh dear, oh Lord. I've had so many gems stuck to my fingers before. It's never a problem when you're not on film, isn't it? I don't believe it. Alright, there's another one there. Let's get that one. Let's do it down there. That's lovely. Right, don't want the green one, do we? Let's put that one back for another day. Right, that's it. That's our finished card. Thank you for your patience, for your time and watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed it and it's inspired you to go and make it yourself. The actual die, this die actually came from Amazon. And I bought it after watching somebody else on YouTube, Corinne Robinson, I think her name is, bless her. She made a thing and I was like, oh, I can do that. So hence this. And then I thought, somebody asked on Facebook how I did the petals the other day when we posted cards that we'd made with this die. And I thought I'd do a video to show you. So, as I say, hopefully you've enjoyed it. This was my first video, so bear with me. There's a few teething problems and probably half it's not on the screen. But if you've enjoyed it, please click the subscribe button and follow me on YouTube. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye.